All right, there have been several updates to the app since I did a Jupiter video, and it's been a fairly popular video. So I wanted to redo it and make sure that some of the icons haven't moved in the app. When they do updates, they move things around, and sometimes people look at those old videos and they get lost and confused because things have changed in the app. So I wanted to redo another one about doing imaging Jupiter. Now, I know I've heard it before that the sea stars are not meant for planetary imaging. Well, that's true and not true all at the same time. Where it's not true is you can image whatever the heck you want. Whatever you can point it at and shoot it at, you can image it. Now, where it is true is that just because you image it doesn't mean you're going to get a fabulous picture. Well, Jupiter is one of those ones that I guess you're not going to get a picture that you can hang on a gallery wall and brag to your friends about how cool it is and enter it into contests. You're not going to get that kind of picture. However, you can image Jupiter and you can actually get a fairly decent picture of it. I know when we first started with our telescopes back decades ago, we had a Celestron Next Star, and we could image planets with it, but all I ever saw was a white dot in the sky. We didn't have the right filters or lenses, and we could never make it work. So what I can get off of the Seestar just makes me happy. It's fabulous, if you ask me. Is it going to compare to a Hubble image? No. Is it going to compare to a computer-generated image? No. But can you tell that it's Jupiter? Yes. So that's what we're going to do today, is we're going to show you how I do that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the home screen of the Seestar app. I have connected the Seestar S50. I could tell it's the S50 because the picture at the top is of a Seestar S50. So that tells me right away which one I'm connected to. I currently have my S30 also imaging outside at the same time. If I want to switch between those, I can click that little button right below the images to the left and I can switch that device. But we're going to do this with the S50. Now, the reason I'm going to do it with the S50 is we're just going to get a better result with the S50 than we would with the S30. Because of the aperture difference, they have a different field of view and they have a different focal length. And so the S50 just works a little bit better than the S30. You can still image it with the S30. You could probably still finagle it and get the red bands across the planet, but the S50 does work a little bit better for this. So on this home screen, we're going to click on the solar system here in the center of the screen. And then we're going to scroll down until we see Jupiter, and then we're going to click the Go To. And then it's going to go out there and find Jupiter. And I'm 0.1 away, so hopefully it will find it pretty quickly. And when it first pops up, what I'm going to see is the overexposed image of Jupiter, and you'll probably be able to see some of its moons. And that's normal, what you will find when you first start imaging Jupiter. It is just imaging what it sees. And then in order for us to get a better look at the bands that are on Jupiter, we will need to adjust some of the brightness, the gain, those sorts of things. And we're going to do that using that little icon to the right, just to the right of where it says 0.1 degrees and it's round and it has a plus minus in it. We will be using that. And so as soon as it finds Jupiter here, hope it does, hope it's above my neighbor's house and we can see it. If not, I may have to pause and bring you back when it's risen a little higher. Yeah, it's having trouble finding it, but I may have to pause and bring you back when I'm able to find Jupiter. But that's how you find it, as long as it's up high enough in the sky. So I will bring you back when Jupiter is risen a little higher in the sky so that I can image it. All right, so I've got Jupiter here in the screen. You can see a couple of its moons, but you can see that Jupiter itself, actually there's 3 moons right there. Can we see any more? It's pretty overblown. So when you zoom in on the planet, all you're going to see is that white blob of light because it's just too bright and overexposed. So what we're going to do is I'm going to actually enlarge this, not with my fingers on the screen, but I'm going to click the 4 times. The reason I do that is so that I can gain a little bit more control over what I'm seeing. So now it's much bigger. I'm going to click the target correction to keep it centered on the screen. That's that little square up in the top right hand corner that's red, and that's going to keep it in the center. And so now what I'm going to do is I want to go in and adjust the brightness and the gain. So I'm going to click this circle with the plus minus, and if you don't do something, it times out pretty quickly. And so if it does, you just hit that again. And then at the bottom of this screen, there's an auto and a manual. Auto just lets you change the brightness, and manual will let you change the exposures in milliseconds and the gain. Now see, I wish they would change that so it doesn't time out so fast. But when I change the exposure time, you can see that as I move it to the left, it gets smaller and a little bit more defined. And you can see that you're seeing a little bit more color. That's kind of what we want to do. And then we also want to do that with the gain so that it's not quite so overblown. And you see that it's changing. Now you see those moons disappeared though, and that is normal. When you're doing this, you're going to either be able to image an overblown Jupiter with its moons, or you're going to be able to image the bands that are on Jupiter. And so you see that I've lowered it almost to 0 over here, but it's not quite to 0, but you can see that there is some color involved in this. It's no longer a bright white overblown exposure. I mean, it's a little overblown, but it's not like it was. It's not white anymore. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a video of this and then stack that video. So hopefully what comes through are the lines that are on Jupiter, those red bands that go across. Sometimes you can even get the red spot that's on Jupiter. It depends on which way it's angled and how good of an image you can get. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a video of it. Be sure to check the little box on the right hand side that is that square that says raw, that just turned red. Now I've made it white. Now it's red. What that's going to do is it's going to save every one of those exposures that create the video so that we can stack those in the stacking, and I'll show you how to do that. And so I have gone into that circle, lowered the exposure, lowered the gain almost to 0. It's not an exact science, so you may have to play around with it a little bit. All I'm looking for is that it's retaining some of that color, and every once in a while it kind of does a flashing kind of thing. I don't know if I can enlarge it at all. Let's see if I can change that while it's enlarged. I don't know if it'll show what I'm trying to explain here, but you can see that it's not that bright headlight white anymore. But you can kind of every once in a while see little lines. The lines are going from the bottom left quadrant up to about the center. Can you see those lines? Because those are showing up, that's telling me that it's going to save those exposures with those lines. And that's what we want, because when we stack those exposures, we want those line exposures to stack on each other. So I'm going to move it back out to where it's normal size. Now I've switched the little dial down here at the bottom to video. Make sure that the raw button is red, and then I'm going to click the red button at the bottom. And up at the top, it's going to do a countdown and tell me how long that video is. And I want to do about 15 seconds or so. I wouldn't do an extremely large amount because then it'll take you a long time to stack it. And if it doesn't work, you've just wasted a lot of time for nothing. And so now I've stopped it. I saved about 15, 16 seconds worth of video. And now we're going to go out and we're going to stack that video and see if we captured those lines. And so we're going to click the little down arrow in the top left-hand corner to get us back to the home screen. And then we're going to click on My Album. And then up at the top, you're going to click on the Seestar because that video is saved on the Seestar. And we're going to go into the planetary. There's two of them here because I did a few experiments trying to make sure I was telling you accurately, so I was prepared to make the video. And you can see I've done it before. This is the video I just barely saved. And if I click on it, it comes up to here, and you can click the play button and play through that video. And you can see the lines on the planet kind of flashing in and out. Well, that's because of the focal point and the light that's coming from it. That's why it's not a great planetary imager. But what we're going to do is we're going to click stack, and we're going to stack those 15, 16 seconds worth of video, and then it's going to produce us a still image of those stacked exposures. And what we're hoping is that we were able to capture the lines, the bands on the planet, and then we'll use the editing tools to make those even better. And so that's what our plan is going forward. It does go fairly fast, this stacking progress, up to about the 65%, and then it slows down a little. It's not crazy long, but the longer your video is, the longer this process will take. And so if you're not sure that you got the settings right, you don't want to take a big long video that's going to take 2 hours to stack, and then you end up with still an overblown picture of Jupiter. So make sure that you have done a short enough one that you can test it, but that it isn't going to take terribly long to stack, so that you can see that you have the settings good for making, if you want to do a longer one. I don't usually do longer ones because they only get so good with the Seestar. It's just not designed to image planets very well. You can locate them and view them, but they're not going to give you the beautiful pictures that you've seen online or on TV or from the Hubble. You're just not going to get that stuff. So I'm hoping that it will speed up here. I think what I'll do is I will pause you so I'm not just rambling on for however long it's going to take, and I'll bring you back when the stacking is done. All right, so we've got 100% stacked, and it succeeded. It took almost 3 minutes to do the stacking, and then you can click on Check Now. And now what we have is this. And if I zoom in, you can see the lines there, but they're very faint. This is nothing to brag about with anyone, but what I'm going to do is up in the top right-hand corner, I'm going to click on the editing tools. And then I am going to, whoops, I don't want to move that one yet. I'm going to move this one, and I am going to enlarge that and crop it a little bit so that I have a little bit more to work with. And then I'm going to play around with these editing tools, and just this one right here that sharpens it. Ah, there's that red dot. Can you see it? So it's not a fabulous image. You can play with the color to make it the color that you want. You can darken certain things. You can do the contrast and the brightness. Wow, I think it actually turned out quite nice. Um, just doing that sharpening really changed it, and you can definitely see that red dot. You see, and so that's how I image Jupiter. It's fairly easy to do. The hardest part is getting that settings right. And it may be different for different areas, maybe different depending on your lighting. And so if it doesn't work the very first time and you're unable to get that, see if you zoom in. This is just a JPEG image, so it's not going to zoom in really well without getting pixelated. But there is definitely a red dot on there, and you can definitely see the banding on Jupiter. And I think it turned out quite fabulous, so you can darken it. You don't want to darken it, you want it to look real, that's not going to look real. But you do want it to maintain its shape as a planet. You can play around with this. You could even export this into some other editing software and even zhuzh up the picture a little bit better. But I think that looks pretty good. And that was about 15 seconds of that raw video that we stacked. And so I'm going to click done. And now I'm going to export that into my phone and save it to my phone because I'm going to show it to my family. And there's definitely a red dot there. I hope you've enjoyed this. It's a fun little program. When I first did that first video, I don't believe that they had that sharpening tool in the editing tools. I'd have to look back at the video, but I don't think that was there. And that one makes a big difference on this image. Now, if I go back to the Seestar, what's saved on there, it has saved that image in there. And, it looks pretty good. That's the one I did tonight, and this is the one I did the other day. And the one I did the other day, you couldn't really see that red dot. So the planet had rotated and the red dot wasn't visible. And so that's how you do it. You just go in, you locate the planet, you do a raw video for 15 to 20 seconds or so, go into the video, and up in the top right-hand corner, click on that stack. And then when it's done, it comes up with an image. I don't know if I have a saved one of what the raw saved video or image is. I just saved it after I had enhanced it and done some editing. But that's how you do that in the Seestar so that you can get an acceptable image of Jupiter. It's not going to win any prizes, but I think it's still pretty fascinating. You can still identify it as Jupiter, and it's fun to capture that red dot on the planet as well. I hope you've had fun learning how to do this. It's a fun project to do it's only taken, maybe 10, 15 minutes to do it. Of course, the first time you do it, there's a little trial and error with getting those numbers right, but just make sure that there's color in the image before you do the videoing, and lower that brightness and the gain so that you can get some of that color and definition. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. We're wishing clear skies to everybody. Join us on the journey. Just click and join the channel. We'll do some more experimenting as we go on. Thanks for watching.